Thank you. Welcome back to Wrokdown. And of course, I'm here with my gorgeous Miss Soozie Pinder, who has been out and about. You're looking very Xena, warrior woman tonight.
Should I do this? Zing, tick, 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 tick.
Well, if you like.
Who can I aim it at in the audience?
You've been out and about and, of course, been catching up with the gorgeous Jeff Duff.
I love Jeff Duff. He's the only other human being on the earth that wears more bling than me.
Well, you could be right. You could be right. But he's an amazing, amazing artist.
I could not believe that I had the good fortune to interview him, and he joined us for dinner, and we had some wicked conversation over dinner. He is one of the naughtiest human beings you'll ever meet, but talent, oh my gosh.
We interviewed Jeff maybe, I think, probably 5 or 6 years ago. We did a short interview with Jeff, and thinking that it would be very casual because he invited us to just go and interview him at a friend's flat in South Melbourne. And our Nita, our director, and she who must be obeyed.
We're not worthy.
We arrived, and of course Jeff was wearing like the yellow suit, the yellow pants, the yellow hat, the yellow scarf, the yellow glasses. He's always just perfectly
groomed and gorgeous.
And gorgeous.
Everything matches.
Absolutely gorgeous. But he's an amazing artist. So let's tell us about what you did.
Maybe we should have a little
Let's
look.
have a look.
Hey?
Okay.
All right. Here's Jeff Duff.
Between the parted pages, and we're pressed in love's unfevered iron, like a striped pair of pants. MacArthur Park is melting in the dark, all the sweet green ice flowing down. Someone left the cake out in the rain, and I don't think that I can take it, 'cause it took so long to bake it, and I'll never have that recipe again.
Hello, you.
Hey, babe.
So good to see you, huh?
It's great to see me too, isn't it?
Yeah, you're fantastic. Now you're here with Grand Wazoo.
I'm not actually with them. I'm sort of part of them tonight, yeah.
Part of them?
Yeah.
There's a bit of history with the band. Is it?
Yeah, a few of the guys from Kush are in Grand Wazoo, and like the Kush boys go back, early mid 70s. So it's great to team up with them again.
Now we're coming up for your 27th album, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, we are.
How can that be?
I know, it's ridiculous, and I still don't get any airplay.
He does at Southern FM on my show, Wrokdown Radio. You do, yes.
Cool. Oh, that's good.
Yes.
But I don't mind. I don't mind being a secret regarding my recorded work. But yeah, my 27th album, and who'd have thunk that?
Tell us about the new album.
Well, I've written the songs with a guy from Icehouse, Steve, the bass player from Icehouse, and I guess it's taken about two years really from the first song we wrote about 2 years ago, and it's been a labour of love and a work in progress over that time, because he's busy with Icehouse and I'm busy doing all my shows, so whenever we could get together we would, and we've got other musicians, and the drummer from Icehouse plays on it as well, and lots of other great musicians. Yeah,
Haven't you been in the Gatsby recently?
Yeah, I was in Gatsby recently with Leonardo, my co-star Leonardo.
And how'd that come about?
Well, I've got a theatrical agent who sort of gives me bit parts every now and again, or cameos. And he said he just called me one day and he said, "Would you like to be in Gatsby?" And I said, "Well, yeah, as long as it doesn't take too much time, because I've got lots of gigs." But we managed to fit it in over about 6 weeks. I managed to slot it in, and I had to play. Ironically, I had to play a lunatic.
Oh no!
One of Leonardo DiCaprio's house guests in the mansion. So I was literally playing a drunk, and I don't drink. So and I wore great clothes though. Actually, when I went in for the casting, the casting director said, "Look, we won't even have to dress you. You've got
your own wardrobe."
Yeah. So I wore knickerbockers and curled up, Arabian shoes and little feathers, and I wasn't really allowed to wear makeup, but I'd sneak into the makeup tent and put makeup
Why
on.
should you not wear makeup?
Well, because it was, I don't know. Actually, it was the 20s, and I'm sure a lot of guys did wear makeup.
Of course they did. Speaking of makeup, what blue eyeshadow have you got on? It's glorious.
It's Mother's Own.
Mother's Own. Mother's Own. It's glorious. It's beautiful.
Well, it's okay. It sort of highlights my pupils, doesn't it?
It does, indeed.
I lived next door to David Bowie for 10 years in Elizabeth Bay.
That's what blew my mind.
Yeah.
10 years. And everyone says, I didn't know Bowie even lived in Australia.
Well, he wasn't really recognisable. He had a little beard, and he was playing in his punk band called Tin Machine. 91, 92, he recorded 2 albums at EMI in Sydney.
Had no idea about that.
Yeah, I bumped into it. Well, his musicians bumped into me in Elizabeth Bay Road one day, and they said, "Oh, we've been coming up to see you perform up the road in your band," and they said, "Would you like to come and say hello to David?" And I said, "David?" They said, "Yes, David Bowie. He's just in the coffee shop there."
Get out.
So so we went and had coffee, and we got chatting, and they'd come up and see my then band. A few times a week. We had a little residency up in King's Cross.
I bet he went home and said, I live next door to Jeff.
Oh, of course.
Of course he did.
Goes without saying.
And I bet he had wardrobe envy.
Well, he looked a little like a farmer at the time. He just had one of those checked shirts and corduroy trousers. But he's still a very handsome dude.
He very much so. So where do you get your inspiration for your shows? Because there's another funny little show that is it Frank Sinatra?
Oh,
and
Ground Control to Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Well, because I've got this huge big band, a 20-piece big band in Sydney, and we do, strict Sinatra things. We do a club called The Basement. It's called Sinatra Rocks the Basement. And, they're legit Sinatra charts that we do. But at the same time, I'm doing this Bowie thing, and I thought, well, there must be a way of combining these two shows. So I wrote this hypothetical story about this neurotic theatrical agent living in New York. He booked David Bowie for Madison Square Garden one night, and he booked Frank Sinatra for the Sands Casino in Las Vegas on the same night. But he gave them the wrong air tickets, and they ended up at one another's gigs by mistake, and they had to go on playing one another's material. And that's the premise for the show.
How did you come up with that?
I don't know. It just seemed like a natural thing to do.
Of course it was. Of course it was.
And it's great. So we swing David Bowie material, and we rock out to Frank Sinatra's material.
Well, I think you are worth it. I'm so pleased to have you on Wrokdown TV, and I just can't wait to hear you sing tonight. It's going to be magic. Thank you, Jeff Duff.
Pleasure.
You
Thank
gorgeous
you,
man.
Thank you.
Over and out for Wrokdown TV. How could you not love him?
He's always been so innovative. Like, started off, as far as I know, like Kush was when I first became aware of Jeff Duff. Over at the in Kew at the what was the pub over there? The Prospect Hill.
Oh yeah.
They played there all the time, and then when I was in Wendy and the Rockets and I lived in London, we bumped into Jeff, and he'd been there for years, and he'd developed this little character that they used to just call Duffo.
Yeah.
And he was so sort of off the wall. Half the people in London, everyone knew him. Everyone knew Jeff Duff.
How would you not know him?
But half the people thought he was just totally eccentric.
Yeah.
And then the other half actually realised that he was really quite an incredibly talented artist, and he would create these little magical shows. Yeah. And he actually, I guess, eked out, didn't make a lot of money, but he certainly had a great reputation. Well, he
was in The Great Gatsby recently with Leonardo DiCaprio. They of course they wanted him in there with the character costumes. He spoke about the love of his life, a gorgeous woman, Tawny, and that she was his muse, and he went quite deep about that and quite almost heartbroken about it, and it was just beautiful to speak with him about that, about his wardrobe, about these Chanel shoes that he had his eye on. They were $1,600 shoes, and should I buy them? I said, of course you should. They should be giving them to him. So he's a wonderful human being, and it was a real delight to speak with him.
Go and see anything where you see Jeff Duff's name's written, and it'll be a great show. And would you thank our gorgeous Miss Soozie Pinder?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Be back soon.